Spring is here, and I'll show you how to make these oversized Easter eggs from balloons. And it all starts by making a pair of balloons. One 11-inch that I'll inflate with an electric balloon inflator and use a sizer box to size correctly, and a 5-inch balloon that I'll use an electric timer pump or a hand pump to inflate to a smaller size. This 11-inch coral balloon is the bottommost layer of the egg, so I'm going to inflate it and use the sizer box to size it down to 6 inches in diameter. Gently press the balloon against the 6-inch hole in your sizer box and slowly let air out until it just fits through. Hold the nozzle of this balloon so air doesn't escape while we inflate the 5-inch balloon to 3.5 inches in diameter, either using the electric balloon inflator or a hand pump. Tie these balloons together into a pair by wrapping the nozzles around twice and tying them in a knot. This will create the first pair of our first ring of the egg. Repeat this step until you have 8 of these pairs created. The next pair we need to make is an 11-inch mint balloon and a 5-inch coral balloon, the opposite of our last pair, but this pair is going to be inflated to a different size. The 11-inch mint balloon will be sized to 7 inches in diameter, and the 5-inch coral balloon will be sized to 3 inches in diameter. Tie these balloons into a pair, and then repeat this process until you have 8 of these pairs created. To join our pairs together, I'm using an empty 260 balloon in a coordinating color that I'm going to remove all the air from and tie the end in a knot. Then tie the end of the 260 to the nozzle of a 6-inch coral balloon pair. This is the first pair in the first ring of our egg. Orient the pair so the 6-inch balloon is pointing away from you and the 3.5-inch balloon is pointing towards you. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold that 260 balloon in my right hand while I grab a 7-inch mint pair with my left hand and layer this pair right on top of the first one so that the nozzles are almost touching and the mint balloon sits just to the left of the coral balloon. Gently pull the 260 string up and wrap it around the 7-inch mint balloon. The two pairs should look like an X with the 260 coming out of the center. Next, layer on a 6-inch coral pair and rotate this one so that it's sitting to the right of that 7-inch mint balloon. Take the 260 and stretch it around the 6-inch pink coral balloon. Add another 7-inch mint balloon so that it sits just to the left of the coral balloon. Pull the 260 up and wrap it around the 7-inch balloon. Continue alternating pairs back and forth, changing colors. Now once you get a couple of them on, you'll be able to see on the inside and the outside a zigzag start to appear. It should go pink, green, back and forth, and each balloon should sit in the gap between the two balloons of the row next to it. You'll also notice that as I continue to add these pairs, the curve of the ring will begin to become apparent. The smaller balloons make up the inside of the ring and the larger balloons are on the outside of the ring or the outside of the egg. It's also why I'm assembling the ring in my lap like this, so that there's room for the ring to coil underneath of the pairs that I'm currently adding. The last couple pairs may be a little challenging to add onto the ring as the first balloons are almost back all the way around and want to touch the balloons that we're adding at the very end. And those first couple pairs are between you and your hands, so you'll kind of have to just see over the top of them as you add those last couple pairs. If you start the ring with a 6-inch coral pair, you'll end it with a 7-inch mint pair, and that's so that they'll nestle against each other, creating a seamless ring. I like to set the ring flat on a table and adjust the balloons so they make a nice circular ring. Then on the outside edge where the first pair and last pair meet, you're going to take the 260 balloon and wrap it in a figure 8 pattern around that first 6-inch balloon and last 7-inch balloon, completing the ring. Each ring of balloons is sized differently, and that's because the inner balloons are critical to the structure of the egg, as those small balloons aren't just a placeholder, but they actually support the outer balloons in holding this nice round shape. I wanted to show you in detail how to create the first ring. Now this second ring, I want to show you what production mode would look like. For the first pair of this ring, I'm inflating an 11-inch blossom or lavender colored balloon to 8 inches in diameter and a 5-inch light yellow or lemonade balloon to 3.5 inches in diameter. Then I'm going to tie those into a pair. For production, I've situated myself so that the pattern is right next to me on the table, and I've pre-counted out all the balloons I'll need for this ring. To speed up the inflation process, I'm not moving the balloons between my hands. I'm picking up the 11-inch balloon in my left hand, putting it on the electric inflator, and putting it directly onto the 8-inch sizer box hole until it just fits through. At the same time, I've also put the 5-inch yellow balloon onto the electric timer pump, which I've already set so it inflates it to 3.5 inches in diameter, and I simply simply hold that 3.5-inch balloon while I'm sizing the 8-inch balloon. Then I tie them into a pair and put them directly into a bag that I have clipped to my chair. I'm going to repeat this process until I have all 8 pairs in this color combination before switching over to the other combination. And even though this pair is the exact same measurements as the other one, the colors are flipped, but not every ring is set up that way. And so I'm taking them one pair at a time to make sure I don't mess up my measurements between the pairs. To also help me from getting the balloons mixed up, I only inflated the pairs I needed for one ring at a time, made that ring, and then I inflated the next set of pairs for the following rings. If you'd like some written plans to help walk you through this process, I have a set of PDF plans available linked in the description box below. These include step-by-step instructions, full color illustrations, as well as a complete supply list to make this exact same egg. You can find that and lots of other resources linked in the description box below. Once I had all 16 pairs tied together into a ring, it was time to move on to the last ring of this egg, which is actually a repeat of the first ring. To top off the egg and give it that distinct egg shape, I'm actually going to create a quad out of 4 11-inch coral balloons. These are sized to 5 inches in diameter and tied into a pair. It's important when tying such small balloons together that you really pull the nozzles against each other as you tie them around to help keep that nice round shape. Because there's so little air in these balloons, sometimes they have a little bit of a peak on the end. And to give them a nice round shape, I'm actually going to squeeze the balloon and press the air into the end of the balloon, giving the end that nice round shape. Join the 2 pairs together into a quad by overlapping them so that the nozzles touch, and then twist one balloon from each pair around each other, locking it into a quad. To secure the rings together and give the egg stability, I'm going to tie a balloon weight to the end of a 260 balloon that I removed all the air from. Make a second one of these, and then we'll be ready to assemble the egg. Take the first ring that you created and place it so that the 6-inch coral balloons are flat on the table or the floor. Then I'm going to take both of the balloon weights with 260s attached to them and set them on the inside of the ring. Nestle one of those weights underneath the 3-inch coral balloons and bring that 260 string up between those smaller balloons and wrap them around the 3.5-inch mint balloons in a figure 8 pattern. You want the balloon weight to be sitting against the floor. You don't want to pull so hard that it hovers, as that might distort the way the ring sits on the floor. Attach the second balloon weight on the opposite side of the ring in the exact same way. And then I'm going to take another empty 260 balloon and tie it to the end of each of those 260s that's already attached to the balloon weights. Now you could do this to start out with, but I find sometimes it can be really cumbersome if your 260s are just really long and they can get tangled up. So I like to attach the weights first and then add on the second 260. Grab your 8-inch purple and yellow ring and set it right on top of the first ring, making sure that one balloon of this new ring sits between 2 balloons of the ring below it. Reach inside the egg and grab one of those 260 tails that we tied to the first ring and pull it up between the small balloons directly above it. Pull some gentle tension on that 260 balloon and then wrap it in a figure 8 pattern around 2 of those small yellow balloons. Reach in again and do the exact same thing with the other 260 on the opposite side of the egg. The critical thing here is that you're pulling gentle, even tension on that 260 balloon between the layers of the egg. If one side is pulled a lot tighter than the other side, this will cause the layers of the egg to distort and make it look a little tilted. Now I'm going to add on that second mint and coral ring and orient this ring so that the mint balloons are touching the yellow balloons that are already attached to the egg. Reach inside the egg once again and pull those 260s up between the small balloons and wrap them in a figure 8 around 2 of those small balloons once again. After you've secured both sides of this ring to the egg, the remaining 260 tail isn't that long and it's not going to be long enough to attach that final quad to the egg. So I'm going to take one final 260 and tie it to the end of one of those other 260s already in the egg, and then set that 260 tail on the outside edge of the egg so I know exactly where it is. Set the 5-inch quad on the top of the egg so one balloon of each of those quads sits between 2 of the balloons below it. Now we don't want to pull this quad deep into the egg. We want it to sit on top of that final ring. I'm going to grab that long 260 tail, pull it across the top of that quad so that it sits right against the nozzles, and then tie the end of that 260 to the tail end of the other 260 on the opposite side of the egg. This final 260 should be pulled tight enough so that that quad can't move around, but not so tight that it pulls it down into the center of the egg. Whether you make 1 egg or a dozen, these would look gorgeous at any springtime event. If you enjoyed this project, you should check out this video. And until the next time, remember, stay creative, everybody.